Inquisitor Igiel's Log of the Adeptus Ministorum. I have recently been assigned to observe and study a chapter of the Adeptus Astartes, though this task would be well sought after by others in most circumstances. I find myself hesitating. I've been told I could possibly be performing this type of duty permanently. There are surely those interested in subverting my rise in rank. However, I will perform my duties as dictated. For now. Let us begin. Chapter name, The Crimson Crusaders. War cry, Ira Volt Nostrum. Our rage wills it. Founding, the Reign of Blood. Barbarous Incursion Campaign. Primarch Rogul Dawn, successors of the Black Templars. Already I'm concerned. Successor chapters. None known. Numbers unknown. Chapter Master High Marshal Araziel. Homeworld none. Crusader fleets. Fortress Monastery none. Crusader fleets. Colors black, red, and white. Chapter badge encircled skull bearing a fist over a frayed black cross countercrossed by two blades. Allegiance loyalist. Codex compliance yet to be determined. Preferred tactics close combat. Mutations. One mutation I have discovered is that of the Crimson Rage. It appears to be a mutation of the Laraman's organ, which secretes an additional hormone into the bloodstream when the Astartes is wounded, causing the battle brother to fly into a massive adrenaline-fueled rage. This effect ends, assuming no further injuries are suffered, after 6 hours. I find it interesting when I confront these Astartes about this Crimson Rage and ask further information. Most refer to it as some holy visage, or some kind of gift from the Emperor himself. They will not hear otherwise. Today I sought out the chapter's librarian in the fleet I have rendezvoused with. It is interesting hearing the chapter's history, I will not lie. Even the most shrewd of inquisitors would still find a chapter's history fascinating, if solely on an academic level. However, let us begin. During the Age of Apostasy, the Black Templars participated in a campaign known as the Barbarous Incursion. During this campaign, a branch of the Templars were noted to be particularly savage and brutal, even by Templar standards. As the campaign progressed, these same warriors continued to steadily get more and more aggressive as they fought, cleaving enemy after enemy in two. However, this bloodlust began to result in rampages which caused casualties amongst their own brethren. Recognizing this, the Templars present subdued the battle brothers responsible, and later interrogated those afflicted, believing them to be touched by chaos. If even a hint of it had been discovered, they would have been butchered there and then. However, after a few hours, the brothers calmed down and it was considered a closed issue. It appeared these Templars were simply overcome with battle rage and had gotten carried away. Amongst these voracious warriors was one named Zareth, who had been amongst the most violent, yet had also been the most directed and controlled during battle, keeping his senses even through the mysterious red hue he had found himself in. He began to analyze the red hue in his mind's eye, and made a supposed profound realization, believing he and those of his brothers who had lost their composure were receiving a profound gift from their almighty Emperor. They believed they were the true carriers of his will, and had been blessed with his potent agent of war, an incarnation of the Emperor's will. Soon, Zareth and his brothers of the Crimson Rage began allowing their bloodlust to consume them in battle, intentionally. The result of this would both be favorable to the victory of the campaign, and detrimental to what was left in the wake of these rages. After the barbarous incursion had concluded, the High Marshal of the Black Templars, Sigandus, confronted the clear leader of this rebel, Zareth. The two lashed their words back and forth, furious and stinging. Soon it became clear no impasse would be reached, and the High Marshal decided to repeat the history of his own chapter's creation, as opposed to executing the upstarts, excising the troublemakers to their own chapter of Adeptus Astartes. Thus, a new chapter was born out of the ashes of the barbarous incursion. Shortly before their excommunication from the Templars, Zareth had been confronted by one of his fellow Crimson brothers. The young Astartes questioned Zareth for their future and feared they may fall to the ruinous powers of the likes of Khorne, if they allowed this rage to go unchecked, that is. Zareth pondered the fears of his brother for a few moments, deciding how best to proceed. After a few mere minutes, Zareth asked the young Astartes to pray with him to the Emperor. Though a strange reply to the question, the young Astartes knelt in prayer. As soon as he lowered his head, Zareth cut the battle brother's arm. Not a massive wound, but enough. Immediately, the young warrior felt the red hue of the unknown rage overtake him. He wanted to leap onto Zareth and separate his head from his shoulders with his bare hands. However, Zareth clenched the battle brother's bleeding arm and held it upward, all the while looking straight into the young battle brother's eyes. Zareth said only one phrase over and over: "Ira autem vult nostrum non conscriptor." Translated, it means, "Our rage wills it, not Khorne's." A simple phrase. Yet the young warrior began to see through the red haze of his anger and fury. It was not subsiding, or leaving him, merely brought to heel under the warrior's will. It seemed almost unexplainable. Zareth lit a candle for incense and continued the chant, and soon the young crusader-to-be began chanting it as well. Bringing his other arm to his chest, the young warrior switched from chanting to simply saying two things interchangeably: "My Emperor, my rage. My Emperor, my rage." After a little while, the young warrior stood tall, controlled and tempered, still fueled with an inner unshaking anger, yet able to control and inhibit the Crimson Rage, as it had come to be called by those afflicted with it. Zareth, without a moment's respite, asked the battle brother, "What is your duty?" "To serve the Emperor's will," the warrior responded, still feeling the rage within him. "What is the Emperor's will?" Zareth continued. "That I fight and die. What is death? It is our duty." They continued a while longer, before finishing. Zareth put his hand on the battle brother's shoulder plate. "If you or any of our brothers doubt yourselves again, practice this ritual with them, and if you should find them lacking in faith or control by the end, then it is your duty to put them down, in the Emperor's name." Zareth boldly proclaimed, leaving the young Astartes to ponder. To this very day, within the Imperium, the Crimson Crusaders perform this ritual regularly. Before battle, before a new campaign, before a new crusade. If any are found lacking, then as the first High Marshal of the Crimson Crusade had taught, they would be cut down. After amassing their own fleet of ships, the now christened Crimson Crusaders set forth on the mighty crusade. The Crusaders carried over many traditions and lifestyles of their parent chapter. Amongst these were their nomadic crusading lifestyle, no homeworld, and no fortress monastery, eternally crossing the stars, bringing torment and terror to the enemies of the Imperium. As the Crusaders fought and campaigned across the Imperium, they came to embrace and worship their bloodlust, seeing it as what defines them as the Emperor's true disciples and incarnations of his very will. Additionally to note, the chapter's battle brothers cut themselves before battle, for the Emperor would only allow his crimson rage to flow through the blood if they exposed it to the heavens and therefore the Emperor himself. Immediately after this ritual of war, the Crusaders would stand shoulder to shoulder, holding themselves under a base level of control before the chaplain, or highest rank present, gave the signal to let loose the tide of endless rage and fury. There is yet more information to be revealed about this chapter and its history. I cannot disguise my desire to learn more about them. However, I need to be cautious. The Crusaders are wary of me, and I find myself being escorted everywhere, as well as being watched round the clock during my time amongst them. I must be careful. My weight as an Inquisitor barely phases these mighty beings, and I fear I may be reported as an unfortunate casualty of war, if I'm not careful, that is. I will resume my log soon. End of log entry.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Please leave a like down below. Please subscribe. And let me know what you thought of the video. I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts. If there are lore inconsistencies, don't mind those. I am still refining my homebrew's lore, my homebrew's aesthetic. I'm still refining a lot of details, but this is what I got so far. I've been working on all this for about 4 days or so, in between my other video projects, my streaming, and obviously working on the next lore video. There's a lot I was putting into this as much as I could on the times I wasn't working on the rest of those, or if I was waiting for something to render, or if I was waiting for something to load, things like that. I would work on this. So this has been a side project, but I hope you guys like it. And also, I'm interested in starting a series where I start doing videos like this, where I highlight homebrew chapters. So I think I'm gonna like make up like a Google Doc or some kind of form people, or like a PDF file people can download. I don't know how I'm gonna set that up, but if I can, I'm going to set that up and set it in the description, and you guys can submit to me via my Discord. I'll probably set up a chat for it, but you guys can submit to me forms for your own homebrews. And the form will allow me to make videos highlighting them, and you can let me know, if you want a shout out, or if you're fine with having your name omitted and you just want your chapter to get a cool highlight in a video. That might be a fun series to do. I think that I'm still working out in the kinks all in my brain. It'd be interesting. It'd be very interesting to highlight some people's homebrews that people have been working on for years as a hobby. It'd be interesting to see. I don't know. I have a bunch of ideas based off of this video and this side project I did. But as of right now, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know the visuals didn't exactly line up with the audio, since the audio was more about a story. It was more about a flowing narrative, as opposed to the visuals, which was just me drawing up the form and creating the form. But as of right now, I think I'll stop rambling. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I'll see you guys next time. And again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. See ya!